Ooh-ba-doo-boo-doo-doo. Hello. Let me get this out of the way right quick. So apparently, this has guy, this infrared guy, which I do appreciate. I appreciate the dude's energy. I sound like Jimmy, my opinions on Jimmy Dore, but I appreciate what he has to say because he's correct. You know, a lot of these folks use definitions as if this is the basis to start. And to me, definitions are pointless. The reason I say that they're pointless today is because do you think that Merriam-Webster or the people that run the Oxford Dictionary or whoever else and the huge staffs and editors and everything else I imagine that exists, you think that they're just going to, describe it in a certain way? Like I said, definitions have to be short and to the point. And you could, they'll probably give examples, but at the end of the day, they have to make it fit so that everybody can understand what a basic word means. So to me, definitions are based, once again, if you want to look at it this way, is that definitions are controlled by, the powers that be or the bourgeoisie or whoever else you want to say. They're not going to give pure examples on everything. They just want you to know the basics of it. So to me, I think it's ridiculous to try to put it in a framework of, well, this definition says this, so it's got to be that way. No, that's ridiculous. I think it's nonsense to do that sort of thing, and to say, well, we should do it this way. Oh, get out of here with that nonsense. I mean, that's my view anyway. When people want to give exact definitions of fascism or give exact definitions of socialism or whatever, I think that it's ridiculous because those things can evolve over time. I think that even people like Jay Sakai, as much as I think he's a goober, I think that even he has been like, do you really think that Richard Spencer is the same type of guy as Hitler was? I mean, like I said, well, he didn't really say it like that. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, he didn't really agree that things are the way, yeah, that the alt right is the same thing as the Nazis. Now, that's not necessarily a glowing recommendation. I'm just saying it as an option that so many people love Jay Sakai and whatnot. Of course, I mean, people say that Jay Sakai is ultimately a Fed, so who knows? But I'm using that as a point where it's just like the thing is that people will use individuals and use talking points or use these folk merely as talking points to dab on folks. And the arguments are just the same bullshit over and over. This is why, it gets tiring arguing online because the same fucking arguments. It's like, if you're an anarchist, oh my gosh, the Soviet Union was right wing actually, or oh my gosh, Henry Ford, supported the Nazis and, IBM. It's just, look, it's like we can all agree on that, but it's like, it's just such spurgy nonsense, And it becomes less about the actual argument because we've all heard the fucking arguments. If you've been online any length of time, you've heard them. You've heard all the arguments against it and, the Holocaust or, Holodomor or whichever you use. Oh my God, it just gets tiring. It does. And you lose brain cells over it. Listen to me sometimes. I've lost too many brain cells arguing with goobers. And it's just ridiculous. All because they want a unified definition of things according to it's like what I was saying to, Commander Brutus yesterday, where it's like, Umberto Eco, let me look at his bibliography here because he did a lot of work other than writing about fascism. He was a medievalist. There we go. He wrote about medieval times, or medieval times, I think is how it's said. Let me take a look here. So yeah, medieval aesthetics and philosophy, early writings. Let me see here what we've got here. Selected bibliography. Okay. Name of the Rose, Prague Cemetery, nonfiction books, art, beauty in the Middle Ages. So I mean, this guy wrote a lot of stuff, and most of it is in Italian. So I'm not going to even. Well, I'll try to. Let me see here. Tratto di semiotica generale, il diploma di massa, come si fa una tesi di logia, lector in fabula, a semiotic landscape. Yeah, there we go. Sette anni desiderio. So yeah, I mean, like I say, this guy wrote plenty of books on medieval history and on, cultural critic and everything else. But people simplify him to say he wrote about fascism. That's what we do today, isn't it? That's limiting. Nobody wants to look at the overall details of what somebody is. They just want to use certain points to own people. And it's just ridiculous. It's the same thing, for example, I mean, look, plenty of the crowd that I used to run in. I'm not on Twitter anymore, by the way. I finally just said to hell with it. Where they use the quote from Marx, where that N-word LaSalle and all that sort of thing, And it's a funny quote, haha, but it's like, okay, does it mean anything? I don't know. It just gets ridiculous, And you realize it's just such. Maybe this is more on the gray pill journey. It took me this long, but it's like, I don't know, man. It just gets ridiculous when you start, throwing out these definitions of stuff, acting like, yeah, well, we know. Well, the thing is that was pre-approved by other people. So why would you want to have a standardized definition in Merriam-Webster's dictionary and ignore the fact that Merriam-Webster has, controllers and has people that they answer to, and they're not going to give specific definitions on stuff. It doesn't read with people, does it? It doesn't read with people to understand that, these definitions are controlled and they only give you so much information. It's nonsense to me. Oh, it's so ridiculous. But anyway, I went on for 8 minutes basically saying is that definitions are controlled by the rich so that you don't have to figure out what goes on. That's really all it is. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed that. See you later. Goodbye.